that we can close every week, asking them to dig deep into their notebooks, share a little nugget, get you out ahead of the big political news just around the corner. Julie Pace?
Democrats are pretty desperate to win something, anything these days, which may help explain why a 30-year-old Democrat in a Georgia congressional special election has raised an eye-popping $8 million. Jon Ossoff is attracting an army of volunteers from across the country, including a lot of celebrities who are trying to get voters out in early voting in a primary there. Now, this is a district that Tom Price, the Health and Human Services Secretary, held. It's a Republican district, but it's one that Trump barely eked out in November. So for the ego boost alone, you're going to see Democrats really lavishing a lot of attention on this race through the finish line.
18th, right? The 18th. All right,
yep.
We'll watch that, Phil.
There's no secret, obviously, about the infighting that's going on in the White House, but I think the big question is, what are the repercussions of it? And if you look to Capitol Hill, you can see it. It's been laid bare over the last couple of weeks. As one very senior Republican official on Capitol Hill told me, there's no White House, there's White Houses, as in nobody knows who actually speaks for the president. And what that does for members of Congress is creates a lot of difficulties. We saw it just in a meeting last week. Reince Priebus, Vice President Pence, Paul Ryan, and Kevin McCarthy, the GOP leadership, basically the White House told them they had to put the health care bill on the floor. Speaker Ryan said, we can't do that. We don't have the votes. The White House basically threatened them and said, you don't know the realities here. You don't understand the politics. There's just a lot of confusion here, and you wonder where that goes from here. Well, when they get back from their 2-week recess, they'll have 4 days to pass a spending bill. I'm told there are elements in the White House right now who are willing to shut down the government to keep the wall funding in there, something that Republicans in both the Senate and House would like to move to another time. So, no solutions yet.
Dick. Okay, 4 fun days ahead. Perry?
The man to watch on Capitol Hill, Mike Conaway of Texas. You hadn't heard of him much before, but now that he's replacing Devin Nunes as the head of the Russia investigation, he's a big figure to watch. The key question is, does he run the committee as Nunes did? Nunes was on Trump's transition committee, was pretty favorable toward Trump in a lot of ways. And does Conaway run the committee that way, or does he run it the way Richard Burr is running in the Senate, which has been more bipartisan, more interested in working with Democrats?
We'll keep an eye on how often he pops up at the stakeout camera. That'll give us our first clue. Molly?
What is next for the resistance? There have been some questions lately about whether the air has sort of gone out of the balloon of the anti-Trump protests and the left's attempts to mobilize against the new president. They are trying, now that the Congress is on recess, to mount a new show of force, a number of progressive groups all coordinating. There will be efforts to show that people are still coming to town halls, still angry at their members of Congress who are home in their districts for the next 2 weeks, but also a coordinated march on Tax Day, April 15th, next weekend, which has a number of sort of storylines, I guess. One, to continue drawing attention to the issue of Trump's taxes and potential conflicts of interest. 2, to spotlight the tax reform plans in Congress. And 3, this may seem a little far-fetched, but to try to take back the tax issue. It's traditionally been more of an issue on the right, and to consciously go the Tea Party, which did the big tax day marches back in 2009. But the big thing, I think, is we will see by how many people come out. They're doing this in hundreds of cities plus D.C. Are they going to get those mass numbers, or are people starting to lose interest?
We'll keep an eye on that one as we go. I'll close with this. It's no secret that the Shark Tank celebrity and Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban likes to poke at President Trump. He also likes to stoke talk of possibly running for president himself. Now, Cuban campaigned, you probably remember, for Hillary Clinton last year, and he's become a student of the process of running for president. Cuban is an independent, and while Bernie Sanders is proof that isn't necessarily disqualifying to Democratic primary voters, Cuban now is putting some money where his mouth is, you might say. He's giving financial support to a group called Competitive Democracy, which won a big legal case in Pennsylvania last year aimed at making ballot access easier for independent and minor party candidates. That group is now working on ballot reforms in Texas, and in part because of Cuban's financial support, is looking to be more aggressive in ballot reform efforts elsewhere. Keep an eye on that one.